This is Lynda Gaiao here, and this week we are entering into trait 24, which is all about returning and rationalization. What does that even mean? So if you think about when an inspiration comes into our minds, there is this pressure in this particular trait to take that inspiration and to mull over it, to look at it again and again, returning to it over and over again, until at some point you are able to transform that inspiration into some type of rational concept, something that is new, something that's different, something that wasn't there before, and then having the potential to share that with others, to communicate it to others in a way that can be impactful to them. Trait 24 is in the individual circuitry, and what that ultimately means is that this potential for something new to come in doesn't happen all the time. It's not there, and it's not there, and it's not there, and it's not there, and then at some point it comes through. So when there is this pressure to form this rational concept out of some inspiration that's come to you, there can be a lot of pressure to get to this place of this rational concept, this knowing of something, but you just can't get there. And when we come to anything individual, it happens really in a pulse. So we don't get there through logic. We can't get there step by step through a process, and we can't look back at experience and get it from there either. So there's going to be a lot of waiting, and a lot of just waiting until this energy drops in that brings this opportunity for you to suddenly know something that you didn't know before. As you can imagine, this is really about a lot of thinking. So in the human design world, it's actually, they mention it's a design of a thinker. And you're going to have a lot of thoughts bouncing around in your mind. And so the mind can be extremely loud, extremely noisy, and almost incessant in a way. So some people that have this trait permanently in their design may even suffer from headaches because they have a very loud and busy mind, because it's constantly mulling over these inspirations and trying to see something new, trying to get to this place of a rational concept coming through. What I would encourage you to pay attention to with this particular trait is it's got great potential for contemplation and to really test the spirit, because there's this testing process. This inspiration comes through and you look at it in one way, you test it, does this work, does this not work, and you keep going over and over again until you do come up with something. Anything to do with the inspiration and conceptualization, those two, so this particular trait is in the conceptualization function, which is called the ajna in the human design system. We have anxieties that come up here. So the anxiety that's going to show up here, or the fear, is of ignorance. And essentially what this fear is going to be all about is, will I ever know? Will I ever know for certain that this is how something is? And when there's pressure and when there's anxieties and fears, we have the shadow that comes in here, the not self, which then can control our actions and our behavior. And this is where we really need to pay attention, because if we're taking action from the pressure or from the anxiety or from the fear of ignorance, and we're out there trying really hard to be certain and almost defending some type of mental position, we've slipped into the shadow aspect of this. The other thing that I would highlight here is anytime we're working in the mental realm, we are, whatever comes through from that space is here for the other. It's the outer authority, some kind of wisdom or some type of knowing or inspiration or rational concept in this particular case, to be shared with others, to help them, to bring impact to them, to transform them. But when we turn it inward towards trying to resolve or to navigate our own life or the perceived problems that we have, this is where we're going to get into resistance. This is where it's going to get a bit more challenging for us, because we're trying to use our minds as our navigation tool or as our intelligence. Within the human design system and the career and business application of the human design system, it's about going to the body, about the body's intelligence. And so I'd highly encourage you to really pay attention to your decision-making strategy as this energy is around, because there is going to be the pressure to take action from the mind, because the mind's going to be really active this week. When we're thinking about this in the business concept, this week is a great opportunity to test and retest things, to really see what works and what doesn't work, and to allow for this process of something new to actually emerge, some new way of seeing things, some new type of rational concept that could really shift the way that you do business or the way in which your team works together. So as you're moving through this week, really pay attention to what happens when the knower cannot know, when that, you're in that process of just mulling over something, but you haven't really got to that place of knowing yet. It can feel quite stressful for some people not knowing and having that patience to just sit and allow the process to work its way through. I'd also encourage you to, when a knowing does come through, to recognize that that's here to be shared with the other. And because this is a projected channel, which means that it needs to be invited, you really don't want to just go out and just share what you see or what you know or what's come through. You really need to have other people ask you. You also need to pay attention to your mind versus your body's intelligence, and just making sure that you're taking actions from the correct place. And something that may help you this week is to say things like, I hear this in my mind, or my mind is saying X, Y, and Z, because that will help to create a distinguishing factor between the mind and the body, so that you can really bring that awareness to, am I taking action from my mind, or am I trusting my body's intelligence? This week really can bring some exciting new ways of seeing the world, and I would love for you to share any new concepts that come through, something that this energy has brought for you. If you're experiencing the anxiety or the fear of ignorance, I'd love to hear how that showed up for you. And just a reminder that as the new gates and traits become active, I release a new video and share a little bit more about how they work and how you can integrate that into your life. So if you're interested in receiving updates on those, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss anyone that's coming in. Until next week, don't forget to follow your decision-making strategy and enjoy this energy of rationalization and returning again and again and again to those inspirations that are coming in. I hope you have an awesome week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.